This is the harsh reality of more than 49 million people worldwide, and children make up 20% of all human trafficking victims. With all of this happening, people want to protect children. People want to stop the trafficking. But the truth is, even with decades of effort, prevention has remained incredibly difficult. The actual forces that drive the trafficking are complicated, they're complex, and often hidden from those that want to stop it. For so long, responses have focused on only the harm we can see. But to disrupt trafficking, we have to understand the system underneath it, the patterns, the vulnerabilities, and the places where exploitation takes root, where it's caused, where it comes from. That's why researchers are turning to a new approach. By combining one field of social science, insights about the trauma and vulnerability, with another field, engineering models that map how trafficking networks operate, we can finally see trafficking as one system, with patterns, weak points, and real opportunities for intervention, as well as future prevention. When we talk about vulnerability, we're not talking about one moment or one decision only. We're talking about a buildup of experiences, the trauma, the instability, the lack of support, and unmet needs. These create openings traffickers use and know how to exploit, how they attack. Research shows that many exploited minors have prior histories of abuse, neglect, or maltreatment. These experiences don't just cause emotional harm, they shape how young people see themselves, how they trust others, and how they respond to danger whenever they feel unsafe. Mental health challenges, housing instability, and lack of access to support systems all increase vulnerability. And when these factors overlap, the risk actually becomes even stronger. Most anti-trafficking efforts focus on what happens after exploitation has already occurred. But by that point, the system has already done its damage. If we only look at the visible harm, the crisis moment, we miss the years of vulnerability that came before it. We don't see the whole picture. That's why prevention has been so difficult. We've been trying to solve a systemic problem with individual level tools, one that doesn't let us see the entire picture. Engineering models allow us to map trafficking the same way we map complex systems in fields like industry, healthcare, or transportation. Instead of seeing trafficking as just random, we can see it as a network with inputs, pathways, pressure points, and predictable patterns. When we combine that with social science research on trauma and vulnerability, we get a clearer picture of how exploitation begins, how it can spread, and where it can be disrupted, which is the most important part. This approach helps us identify leverage points, places where small strategic interventions can prevent exploitation before it happens. Understanding trafficking as a system doesn't ignore or replace the survivor stories, the experiences. It actually strengthens them. It gives us a framework to understand why certain patterns repeat, why certain communities are targeted, and why some interventions work better than others. It also helps organizations like Freedom Network USA design prevention strategies that address the root causes, not just the symptoms. Human trafficking is not inevitable. When we understand the system behind it, we can change the system. By combining trauma-informed research with engineering-based modeling, we can build prevention strategies that are smarter, earlier, and more effective, moving closer to a world where exploitation has no place to grow, and most importantly, where children are able to be safer.